The Crochet Boss, Maurice Green, joins me now as he gets ready to fight Gian Villante on June the 27th. Maurice, how are you?
Man, I'm excellent. I'm excellent. So a long time since I could say excellent, but I'm excellent right now.
That's fantastic. And you're in sunny, warm Albuquerque, New Mexico. How are things going down there?
Man, I came out here on a whim because of the camp change, and I just didn't think that I knew I'd enjoy it. I liked the training, but man, I like this place. I'm sick of the winter. My family's sick of the winter. We get a little snow out here, so I love it, man. I love it. I love it. So,
is the family all down there with you now?
You guys been here the whole time. Yeah, we drove. We needed to get out of Minnesota before. Well, we didn't know all that stuff was going to happen. Something happened with my camp, and we ended up switching camps. And I was going to actually stay home before then. And then Brock, my coach at home, Brock was like, he's going out to coach Tony Martin because Tony just fought Neil. He goes, I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks there, and it was all impromptu. So, the wife wanted to get out of Minnesota for a little bit. We had a lot going on. So, we reached out to Juan Adams, and Juan Adams, by just being Juan Adams, reached out to Coach Wink, and it was like, come on out. So a couple days later, we hopped in the car, 24-hour drive. Coach Wink made it possible for us to come out here. Made it possible in so many new ways that nobody ever know but us, but he made it possible for us to come out here and try out the gym. But, the tryout turned into something that, I've been looking for a gym where I can just stay at and raise a family at. And unfortunately, Colorado wasn't the place for me. And I enjoy the weather here more, and my family enjoys it more. And, we're at JacksonWink. We got a heavyweight stable.
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, that's one of the best gyms in the world. And I want to get right back to that in a second, but you did mention your coach there, Brock, and he's Rocco's longtime coach. I actually do a weekly show with Rocco called the Rocco MMA Show. He's my man. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on that fight with Magny. I'm sure you watched it. Overall, how did you score that?
I didn't score. I just thought Tony won the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Tony won the fight, but we know what happens in MMA all the time. If you leave it to the judges, sometimes it doesn't go the right way, So that's what we try not to do, is leave it to the judges. So, it's unfortunate, but this is the game. But I don't think Rocco lost that fight. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on there. Now, as far as JacksonWink goes, tell me who have been some of the main training partners you've been working with so far.
Shoot, you name it. I've been doing a lot of work with Juan Adams. Juan Adams, he's a very large individual, and he's grown. I was talking to him. I was like, "Are you better since you came here?" He's like, "Yeah." He's grown since he's been here, and he's helping me a lot. In addition to that, Davion Franklin, he's a Bellator heavyweight. Christian Edwards, he's a Bellator light heavyweight. Dwight, Dontel Mays, gosh, and I hope I'm not missing any of these heavyweights. I probably am, knowing me. But we got a lot of them here, man. It's, very rarely do you walk in a room with, including me, 6-7 guys who are heavyweights that you can work with, and everybody gives you a different look, and everybody gives you different pressure. So, like I said, we out here training for the Kentucky Derby. We got a stable of stallions. So, I could be in a better place right now.
No John Jones anywhere?
I haven't got a chance to train with John just yet, he's doing a lot in the community here. He has other obligations as well outside of the cage that he attends to. And, at some point in time, we'll get a chance to mix it up with John, and I'm excited to be able to do that. But, I have what I need in the gym right now. And when John does come, it'd be great to grow and learn from the GOAT. So,
what makes Greg Jackson such a phenomenal coach?
Not just Greg, but even Mike Winklejohn. They're both phenomenal in their own right. Greg Jackson's like the brains behind a lot of it, I'm learning. Just listen to how he breaks down and analyzes, and it's kind of amazing. you know, I've been around a lot of coaches, seen a lot of coaches, nothing like it. And that's not to say any coaches are better or any worse, but Greg Jackson is something. There's a reason why he's the best coach in the game. There's a reason why Mike Winkeljohn is one of the best coaches at striking and doing what he does. There's a reason why Holly Holmes got several title fights. There's a reason why John Jones is the GOAT and he's never legitimately lost a fight. It's because he's coaching of these guys, but it's also because, you know, our work ethic, you know, you behind the scenes, you're doing reps and reps and reps of what they're teaching us. So the proof is in the pudding, you know.
How has the pandemic affected your ability to train, or has it really not affected you at all?
Man, I've been on my own so much and so long. I mean, you can ask my wife. I've been on or you ask my fiance, but she's my wife. I've been on my own so long that, you know, I'm just now starting to have coaches. I did my first camp ever when I fought in Minneapolis at Factory X. That was the first camp I ever fought. It was my third fight in the UFC. So it really hasn't affected me that much. You know, you just run more, put more road work in, get more shadow boxing, get more. You know, there's ways we can always work around no gym. You don't need a gym to do it, people. You really don't. You just need a good work ethic, which sometimes we lose that focus, but we've regained it back, and you know, I'm better than ever. I mean, I know I say it every fight, but every fight they see a change and they see a better Maurice Green. It's just time to get back in the win column, you know.
I see a lot of fighters and just people in general out in Albuquerque that are, you know, running mountains, running trails. Have you done that yet? Have you got a chance to get out there? And I know there's a lot of places.
I haven't got a chance to run in the mountains yet or run in the foothills. But I do go up to this path. It's a little over 3 miles, you know, and I go and do that at a good pace and at some of the hottest parts of the day because I love the heat. You know, I like to sweat. I feel like if I'm not sweating good, I'm not working. Maybe that's how I say I worked hard today. How the body feels. So there's gonna in due time, man. In due time, I really think this is gonna be my home. Not just JacksonWink, but Albuquerque, New Mexico is gonna be my home. So, you know, we'll have a lot of time to do mountain biking and all that stuff that I've always wanted to do. I'm gonna do all that stuff here. Bring my son, bring my family. Yeah, man. Yeah, this has been the pandemic, the quarantine. You know, it's done a little bit. You know, it made things tough at one point, right? And it's also through the end of it, you know, we found a place for it to get better. So, I mean, I don't think I missed a beat, you know.
Now, I know you're a family man. I follow you on Instagram. You clearly love your family. You got a 8-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter, I believe. Do they fully understand what Daddy does for a living? Do they grasp that?
I don't know if they fully understand it. I mean, my son does. My son understands what I do for a living, and he's getting a better understanding of that now, and why Daddy had to go away. But it's still hard for your kids, man. You know, my dad was in the military. He was gone for 7-8 months at a time. We moved every 3 years. So for me, it's nothing, right? But for him, you know, I've been there since they were born. You know, they've always had Dad around. So, but I've always been doing MMA, so he doesn't know any different, really. My daughter, nah, she just, Daddy, why you gotta go now? I don't want you to go. But you know, it's okay. That means she loves Daddy. You know, that's Daddy's little girl right there.
No doubt.
I mean, Jack, I love Jack to death. He's my homeboy. He's my ace in the hole. But he's a mommy's boy. Mama got him around the finger. Mama got him around the finger. But Olive, wherever it's good at, that's what she is. But she's mostly a daddy's girl, though.
Well, you got a beautiful family, so congratulations there. You know, I first recognized, you know, who you were, just like the rest of the country for the most part, on your experience on The Ultimate Fighter. Tell me, man, what was that like? What did you take away from that whole experience?
Man, it was the toughest. They call it tough for a reason. It's the toughest shit I've ever did in my life, man. I thought it was a game, you know. That's why I drank the first. I was having a good time, but as you stay there with no contact, bro, it wears on you. Me and Justin Frazier, bro, we was having a hard time together. You know, we had our kids at home. We're always with our family. So, which I will say, it's one of my best friends from the show. Still talk to him to this day. Yeah, one of the best dudes I met on there, including Macy. And I can't say enough good things about Team Gaslam. We were all pretty tight. But anyway, toughest thing I've ever did, but it kind of put what I want to do into perspective. You know, it kind of helped mold what you see today. You know, I'm not perfect, right? We're not perfect by any shape of the imagination. If somebody thinks they are, that means you're just hiding behind something. But at the same time, if we get 1% better each day, at least 1% better, we're in a good place. So that's my goal in life, just to get 1% better each day.
Now, looking forward to this next fight. You're coming off of 2 losses in a row. Do you feel more pressure to go in there and get a win?
You always feel pressure to get a win when you're coming off a loss, no matter whether if it's 2, 3, 1. You always want to stay in that W column. But, man, you know, I try not to let that pressure get to me. I just got to trust in my training, trust in my coaches, and, you know, you just got to trust in the process, man. And you got to trust in the process.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What's your current contractual situation? How many fights do you have left on your deal?
I don't know, actually. Maybe a couple. Maybe a couple. I mean, see, that don't even bother me either. You know, listen, you got to remember, they can cut you at any time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you may have a couple fights left. It doesn't matter. So, you know, I don't think about that either. Like, oh, I'm safe. You're never safe. You know, like, what do they say? It's easy to get to the UFC. It's hard to stay there. You know, I'm staying there. I'm staying there. So, you know, you do the math.
As we talked a little bit before we went live, you're repped by Tyson Chartier and Top Game Management. Can you just talk about, you know, how good of a guy he is and what kind of a manager he is? I've come to know him pretty well, and I know he reps a lot of the really elite fighters in the UFC.
Man, Tyson keeps it 100. He may keep it 110 with you. You know, if he's one of those guys where he's not. This is my thing with Tyson. The fact that he can tell some guys, you know, you don't need a manager. You really don't. You know, you don't need a manager. You can do it yourself for a while. The fact that he says that means a lot. You know, the fact that he does so many things behind the scenes for me that a lot of like I used to take for granted and didn't think he was doing anything. But you know, he doesn't need me to pat him on the back for all that stuff. He just does it. And that just tells you the kind of person he is. He's a family man now. When I met him, he had no kids. Now the man got 3 of them. So, you know, he's a family man now. He's just a good, kind-hearted person, man. And he just wants the best from us. And he's always on my side, right? When I say he's always on, no matter what coach, if somebody don't like him that I'm associated with, whatever, he always tries to find a way to make it easiest for me so I don't have to deal with it. So, and I always tell him, like, no, fuck that. I'm riding with you. So what's up? You know, that's a problem. So I don't even have the words to say, but man, Tyson, I just talked to him yesterday. You know, and man, we always have good conversations. I can call my manager like a friend and talk to him for 30 minutes about nothing, you know, because we're friends and he's my manager and it's not always business, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah. Well, I echo those sentiments 100%. He's a great guy. So you're lucky to be under him.
Babe.
Now,
Last phone, babe.
Sorry, I was drinking the wife's pop.
You got to get that in there. Tell me, as far as this upcoming fight goes, this probably fighting in front of no fans is not going to be an issue to you at all after everything you went through on The Ultimate Fighter. But one thing that is interesting is the cage is smaller, so it's going to probably make for, you know, more of a stand-up fight. How do you feel that is going to benefit you here for this upcoming fight?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll make adjustments in the fight. You know, this game is about making adjustments on the fly. You know, we have an idea of what's going to happen. It could be totally not that. You got to remember, I fought in that cage on The Ultimate Fighter twice, and I fought in that cage at the Pearl at the Palms. So it's not like I've never been in that little cage, you know. I'm not a guy that's gonna run. Gian Villante is not a guy that's gonna run. So whether it was the big cage or the small cage, we was gonna bang. So, you know, we was gonna duke it out. That's what we're gonna do. But everything's about taking calculated risks. You know, I don't put myself in one of those 50-50. I understand we want to make sure we impress the fans, but listen, you know, when the Crochet Boss is on, I'm on. It's impressive just to watch. So that's not me being full of myself. That's me being fully confident in what I'm capable of.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Villante is coming up from light heavyweight to heavyweight now. Do you imagine you're going to have a big size advantage here in this fight?
Don't even think about that. You know, Gian Villante played football with my brother in college at Hofstra, right? So my brother was D tackle. Gian Villante played linebacker right behind him. He knows how to have that weight on him. You know, I'm not thinking of an advantage of size. These guys can get just as big. All I'm saying is, I think I'm gonna see the best Gian Villante yet, right? And if I see anything less, that's on him. That's not on me. All I can control and all I can worry about is what I can control. I can't control what he's gonna do, so why worry about it?
Who's going to be in your corner come fight night?
Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn, and of course the person you've seen. He's like Rocco's Rock. He's like Brock to Rocco. T Billa, you know, the guy who does my walkout music, my best friend. He's like a brother to me. He keeps me normal, right? So I'll have Billa there as well. That's just my guy. He's there for every fight. He's been there for every fight. So those three. I was originally going to have Tyson and Brock in the corner, but when I came out here and I started working with Coach Wink and Greg Jackson, and like I can't say it enough, the amount of time in this short span that I've been out here, and it's all been impromptu, the amount of time that they've put into me, as far as not just treat me like, oh well, I'm gonna do the same thing with everybody. No, they looked at my skill sets, they evaluated my skill sets, and they're starting to add things that work for me and my size and, you know, my athletic ability. And we spent a lot of time together in these past couple weeks, and you know, and they fit me into their schedules. You know, both of them are busy men. So, you know, I would do a disservice to myself to not have them corner me after spending all that time with them. So yeah, what's my corner?
What's the walkout music for this?
I don't know yet, man. It may be If I Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda again by T Billa, or it may be that song by Baby when he's talking about just all this stuff that's going on in Black Lives Matter. It may be that one, because that song I heard it this morning. That goes hard. So that's the difference. People don't realize that's the difference between this and the Ultimate Fighter. We couldn't listen to music in the locker room. There's a lot of stuff we couldn't do. Yeah, we don't have a crowd, but I still can do everything else. I still get my walk to the cage. People don't realize when I'm walking to the cage, I don't see the crowd. The crowd's not what pumps me up. It's the music on the way to the cage. It's where my mind's locked in and where my mindset's at. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be quiet in there. I still got my crowd at home on TV. Got a bigger crowd than I know. You can hear your corner, you know. He can go ahead and listen to my corner if you want to. That's on you, fam. You know, so, yeah.
How do you envision this fight ending, Maurice? How do you see yourself getting your hand raised?
I just see myself winning. I can win in a bunch of different ways. Like I said, it really depends on what Gian Villante shows up, which is going to determine how I got to get this W. It could be a dog fight. Well, I'm ready to beat a dog. You know, I never want to say fights are easy, because they're not easy. What we do is not easy. I'm sorry. And to think you're just going to go in there, piece somebody up, and walk out at this level is just, you know, it's beyond me. I'm ready for 3 rounds, man. Ready for 3 rounds. Like I said, I don't want a war, because I try to be calculated. But if I got to get there, we'll go there. As long as we get our hand raised and get a W, that's all that matters to me.
If everything goes smoothly and you don't take any damage, would you like to fight in Abu Dhabi here soon? You're trying to stay active?
Baby, come on. I've been in the UFC about a year and a half. This is my 6th outing in a year and a half. They call me, my So Calvin Cater's headlining the card July 15th. That's my son's birthday, right? So it had to be after that because I'm not going to miss my son's birthday. You know, I missed it on Ultimate Fighter, and you know, I've missed some things. But this is my job, and I get it. But he's turning 9 and means something to him. I would love to fight then, but that's too fast. But yes. If we get in and out and I'm healthy and I'm ready to rock, yes. Dana, Sean Shelby, McMaynard, put me on the island. I'll go out there. If it makes sense, you know, and, you know, it has to make sense. But, you know, before we even talk about that, we got to make sure we talk about the task at hand, and that's Gian Villante. So I ain't even looking in the future because you got to, there's still something in my way that could prevent me from getting there. So if you need to focus on that right now, and that's Gian Villante has my 100% undivided attention right now.
Yeah. Well, it's clear as day you're locked in and you're ready for June 27th in this matchup against Villante. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Always a pleasure watching you step inside the octagon, my friend. And thank you for joining me. If you'd like to shout anyone out or your social media, the floor is yours.
Hey, you guys already know on Instagram and Twitter, it's at the Crochet Boss. Come follow the journey, come follow everything that's to come. I want to thank Vital Mind CBD. For making sure, you know, my muscles stay good and my mental clarity is good. I also want to thank Bump Box, actually. You know, I reached out to them and they did me a solid. I'm going to have a Bump Box in the locker room, banging that music. You know, I'm pretty excited to get that. I should get that when I'm in Vegas. And I also want to thank, honestly, the CARE Project. That's something new that John Jones created after we went out and, you know, kind of just tried to stop the looting and stuff here in Albuquerque when they had their protests. And it's turned into something more than that. Yesterday, we were able to go out and help a lot of the homeless community. We went shopping. I went out with my whole family. So my fiance and my son and my daughter, we all went out together, made care packages. We handed them out, and it was, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think I've always focused on, you know, I grew up with not much. I need to get this money. And yesterday was like a reset. It was very humbling to just give them simple things like, you know, soap, body wash, towels, you know, women tampons, like little simple things that we all take for granted, and to see how grateful they were because they need those type of socks. They need those type of things. So that was my little reset yesterday. You know, I didn't work out yesterday. That was my reset. You know, and today I'm locked back in. We getting ready to start training, and man, you know, I got something to fight for when I get out to Albuquerque. Something to look forward to kind of find a way to make a difference where I wasn't so concerned about making a difference. So thank you to John Jones, everybody involved with the CARE Project, because I think I'll be able to do some great things with that. And thank you to Steve-O for coming out. We got to hang out with Steve-O. Make sure you watch his feed, because what he did at the end of the night, like when everything was all done, was the craziest shit I've ever witnessed in my life, and it was the dopest shit ever. But you people just wait. I'm sure Steve was going to post it. I got a chance to record it from his phone. Shit was dope. Steve-O was Steve-O. So that's all I got for you. Oh, and I want to thank Tyson Chartier and Top Game Management for always holding me down and looking out for my best interests.